Did I forget to hit stream? Hey guys, how's it going? Did I forget to hit start? I've been sitting here having this great conversation with you guys for what has been 10 minutes. Hi everybody. All right, let me start over. Um, yeah, so sorry. Yeah, I've been having this great conversation with you guys, and I thought that you guys were watching the stream, but apparently I forgot to hit start. So let me start all over. Um, Hello, it is Friday, and we're going to create some art. It is going to be awesome, I swear. It has been awesome, and you guys just didn't see it. That's all. I painted this beautiful picture, and now I started on the second one. That's really what happened. But no, I'm just kidding. Um, so. I had one job. All I had to do is like the button's like right there. Like there's a blue button that says like start stream, and I forgot to click it. As you guys saw, I'm already working on this thing. So we're working on a coffee painting tonight. It's been several weeks since I worked on a coffee painting, so I thought I'd do one. I'm doing a I'm doing a baby deer because I was looking through my collection and I have like a bunch of adult deers. Like I have like two of those, and I don't have any cute baby deers and stuff, so I thought I'd do that. But anyway, I've been streaming for like, yeah, I've been drinking. I've been drinking all day. That's the problem. Let me go back into my picture. So as you can see, I already kind of got started. We're not too far into it. It's only been 10 minutes. But yeah, I thought you guys were watching along with me. I'm sitting here like monologuing, like basically telling you my evil plan and everything, and you guys weren't even listening. Like Tom's like, why can't I see the stream? I'm like, I can see the stream. Stream looks great to me. Anyway, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I forgot to hit the start button again. I think this is probably the second time I've done this. Anyway, I am a terrible host for you guys. I'm so sorry. Anyway, we're working on a coffee painting of a deer tonight, and we're going to have a great weekend. That's what I was telling you guys about, my weekend plans, and I was going to ask you guys about yours, but uh, yeah, you guys weren't in there. So anyway, if you're coming in late, you haven't really missed it much. Sorry, guys. Anywho, thanks, Tom, for bringing that to my attention. uh, well, the thing is, it's like there's three buttons. There's one that says start stream, then like go live or something like that. So it's like very confusing, especially when you've been drinking all day. Anyway, I was having a great conversation with you guys. Like I was pretty sure you guys were replying too. Um, yeah, so we are working on a baby deer here. I thought it'd be kind of cute. Like I've done two adult deers in coffee before. I haven't ever done a like a baby deer, and I thought that would be kind of cute. I don't know how long this is going to take. It's not a very large deer, but anyway, I am so sorry, man. Good thing I don't get embarrassed easily. Like, okay, I'm embarrassed. I have one job, just one job. Anyway, like I thought you guys were. I thought we were having a great conversation. Like it was the best conversation. The ones where you guys always agree with me and like, you know, you guys like had nothing to contribute to it because everything I said was just brilliant. That's the best conversations. Anyway, I was telling you guys, the first step is to kind of like have some drippage going in here. I thought somebody replied to that. It's so weird. And then start kind of mapping out where the deer is on the page and giving it some form and things like that. You got to get this base layer in here first so that you can kind of build upon it. I think one of the challenges is that these baby deer do have like spots on the back and stuff, so I may have to like work around those and or lift some copy up later, but both of those are things I can do, so I'm not too worried about it. I just have to be conscious of that. So I was telling you guys about my weekend plans. How anybody got any great weekend plans? I was going to go to this art festival this weekend, which it's the Woodland Art Fair, and I kind of look forward to it every year. It's like the biggest one around here. It's kind of cool. I like to go there and get some ideas, see what other people are working on, and get some ideas from them, and kind of inspire my own work. But it's kind of bittersweet though because like they have it the same time each year, and it's always like towards the end of the summer. So like basically, this you go to this art festival, and then it's like, oh, okay, summer's kind of ended. But then fall kicks in. It's kind of cool. I do like I like all things fall as well. So like pumpkin spice, and I'm a big pumpkin spice fan. I told you guys all of this before. I don't know where you guys were. Anyway, man, I get like I gotta I gotta get better at this. I really do. Like, how am I supposed to be this like awesome painter if I can't even like stream it? Yeah. Um, Yes, yeah, sorry, I did explain that, kid. So I was supposed to do a pet portrait. I was asked to do a pet portrait for somebody who lost a pet, and I am still going to be doing that, but I wanted to give them some space. I thought that they might send some pictures through today, but I don't want to really bother them to send pictures and stuff. So whenever they're ready, I will be doing that. But I thought that's what I would be doing today. That's why like I didn't do the stream last night because I thought I would be doing pet portrait today, but no. But yeah, good memory. Well, I mean, it's just from yesterday. But yeah, like most of you guys know Ben. Ben lost his dog, so I wanted to do a portrait of his dog for him and Ashley, kind of as a memorial. And they said that they had some pictures of some of their other dogs and stuff, so I'm just gonna like let them take their time to get those together and everything. I think that the picture will be really cool when I get to it. Like from what they described, they wanted to put these guys in there together and everything, and I think that's really cool. I would like to paint my own pets that have passed away over the years into like one big, um, rainbow bridge kind of portrait. Uh, maybe I'll do that someday. My good buddy Mocha, who was my best friend when she passed away back in 2011, I think. Put her in there and um, a couple of cats. I've lost a couple of cats over the years. My parents' dogs, who I was very really close with. It'd be kind of cool just to do like this big montage of montage. Uh, you know, group picture. Yeah. So yes, that is what I was going to do tonight, but like I haven't gotten any pictures. And I didn't want to like bother them and anything. So like I'll just wait. Yeah, leave plenty of room for the new dog. Um, you know, whenever Guinness passes away, I think my dog Bear is going to be devastated. I did do a portrait of them. I got to share that with you guys sometime. I did a portrait of the two of them together in Adventure Time style. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Adventure Time. It's a cartoon. Um, it's animated, and it's got a very distinct style to it. Like, I don't know, back in the 90s, everybody was drawing like the Simpsons kind of style things. Well, nowadays it's Rick and Morty or Adventure Time, or there's a couple of other cartoons. But anyway, I did Guinness as an Adventure Time puppy, and I put Bear in there as well. It's really cute. I'm gonna share it with you guys sometime. Maybe I'll post that up on the community tab. But yeah, like we already covered all this. I was having a great conversation with you guys. I don't know what your problem is. It was a great conversation. Yeah, I was telling you guys it has been a while since I've done a coffee painting. I think it's been about a month. I'd have to go back and look. The last one I did was of a bear, and I never actually finished it. There's some pieces some little details and stuff that I never got around to. So that's why I was kind of holding off on doing coffee paintings because I still had that one taped down to the board, and I was going to finish it up. I still didn't finish it up today, but I put it to the side because I'm like, well, I'll get around to it eventually. The problem is I've just been super busy with projects. Um, I haven't really had the time to hang, and not just art projects, but like software projects. Um, just I don't know. It just seems like the busy season. But they're pretty cool software projects. Some of them are commercial products, so like not just things for clients, but things that other people might enjoy. I don't know. Like there's an app I'm working on. I can't really go into the details, but when it's done, that's probably something anybody could use. You guys might actually want to try it out just for fun. So I guess stay tuned for that. One of these days I'll finish it. Packer says, while losing pets is a sad and serious subject, when you paint them in colors, would you use pastels? Oh, come on. No, I would not use pastel. Actually, I'm still struggling with using pastels as something for other people. So I get your joke. It's kind of funny. Um, the uh, the thing about the pastels is I still haven't figured out how to ship those. Like if I did a pastel picture for somebody, I would love to do pastel pictures for people because I'm enjoying doing them, and I think they turn out looking pretty cool. But the problem is whenever I go to think about shipping them and stuff, I start getting a little nervous because it is powder on paper, and even though I think it's fixed pretty well, it's one of those things that like in shipping it might get jostled around and stuff. And what if it ends up losing, um, like a significant amount of like the pastel chalk in it? You can use the fixant, but I've had mixed results with that. Sometimes it comes out looking okay, sometimes it looks like a mess. Probably a combination of the two is like would be using fixant and then not using fixant. The thing is about pastels is you really should take the time to frame it once you're done doing them. So like as soon as you're done, it should go into a frame because then it's behind glass and protected. But you know, I'm not in the habit of framing my pictures. I just don't like. I've got pictures on a shelf up here. I've got pictures in a drawer over here. I've got like I had a conference call with somebody and they didn't know I was an artist and stuff. So I was looking around and I'm like, man, some of these pictures are kind of weird, for somebody who's just doing like a conference call. So I had to pull down some of them for that. I'm definitely going to put some more back up, but every couple of months I look at the pictures on the wall and I'm like, these don't really reflect the current work I'm doing, so maybe I should like show off something different. But anyway, I'm not in the habit of putting pictures in frames directly. Um, like even those of you guys who have I've sent pictures to, I usually put them in like a plastic wrapper and put a piece of foam board in there to keep them nice and sturdy. But um, I don't I don't even know how to ship frames. I'm just not very good at being me. Like I just don't have a plan for any of this stuff. I can't even hit start on a freaking live stream. I'm terrible. In the old days, we would lightly spray Aquanet hairspray. Yes, so that is something that people do. There's some um, better archival quality material to use. So like the problem with that is it's not very doesn't survive the test of time. Um, like hairspray would probably yellow the paper or something like that over time. But that's kind of the idea behind the fixin. It's well, here's a can of it right here. So yeah, so something like this. This right here is like actually like a UV coating, but it kind of comes like in that, and you just spray it on it. I just it just kicks up the dust and everything. I just don't like it. I don't want to have to spray my pictures. I want to actually frame them and put them in glass and send them off to people like already presented. Relax your perfect mistakes and all wasabi. Thanks. I appreciate that, Howie. Willie's always so nice. Um, Julie's always. I don't think I've ever seen Julie. Oh no, Julie's been in a bad mood. But I've never been on the receiving end of Julie in a bad mood, so that's cool. I don't think. No, I've never been on the receiving end of Packer Jack being in a bad mood either. Um, Packer Jack's a cool guy. I got to meet Packer Jack in person. I haven't met some of the other ones. Packer Jack. I don't want to give away anything that he's up to, but he's a treasure hunter and he's working on some treasure hunts. Um, and I got to participate in some of those because one of them is local, so got to got to go out there and hang out with him. We drank bourbon and had hot browns out in Louisville. Well, he's like, rarely get mad, but when I do, yeah. I've heard you mad. I think I've heard you get riled up. Kid doesn't ever get mad. I believe that. I really do. Like I can't picture a kid getting mad. I don't know. Like I mean, everybody gets mad. Like it's just, but like your disposition in general is what matters. You know, like are you generally a positive person with a good outlook on life, and are you somebody that people would want around, or somebody that they dread being around? Because you know, there's all types of people out there. I don't know anybody who I would call like toxic, really. Like I don't personally know anybody that I would tend to avoid, but I have in the past, and you know, like I don't know, you just eventually stop hanging out with them and stuff. Hey Ben, I'm charming when I'm mad. Yeah, so like Ben, whenever you do have those pictures, just shoot them through. I was gonna work on your portrait tonight, but I didn't want to bother you, you know, to get pictures together. But whenever you do have those pictures, I'll be happy to do that painting. In the meantime, working on a little baby deer here. But yeah, like I was saying, I don't know anybody now that I would consider toxic or just somebody I don't really want to hang out with or anything like that. I've had I've had some people in the past like a couple of my old friends, they were just like compulsive liars. I've known a few of those in my life. Um, there's some people. When wouldn't say anybody I knew was like overly violent or anything like that. People that you wouldn't want to be around just because they were like you were concerned or anything of that nature. I just don't normally hang out with people like that, so that's never really been a problem. Um, like occasionally, like I don't know, everybody knows a moocher or two, but I don't really know too many of those. I think I'm just blessed with like I don't know, nice people around me. Like most of the people I know are nice people, and that's cool, you know. And I think that's probably because you know, I do believe that like what you put out there is what you get back, right? So like if you're like an asshole and you go around being an asshole to people, you're probably going to meet a couple of assholes. But if you go around, you know, just trying to generally be a positive role in in like the world around you, you're probably going to meet other people who are like-minded. And um, I have found, and like I'm not the first to notice this, like it's actually a well-kept secret, of, meaning that it's not a secret. Um, if you ever want to be like successful, you know, just be passionate. If you're passionate, other people pick up on that, and they want to support you. And I believe that that's true. So, um, like that has always been the case in my life. I am attracted to people who are like really, really into something, whatever it is, you know, like if you're a writer and you're like really into writing books and things like that, I want to read your work. I want to support that. If you're an artist, I want to support your art. If you're a you know, I don't know, poet. Is anybody ever like actually a poet anymore? I don't know. Um, but yeah, whatever your thing is, just you know, just be really into it. If you're really into it, people will notice, and they want to participate. You know, people want to participate um, in what other people are doing, and I think more to the point. Whoops, I think more to the point. People want to get out of the way of people who are doing things. So like if you're doing something and you're doing like a positive thing in the world, not only do I want to support what you're doing, I want to make sure that I don't interfere. I don't want to like interrupt you from doing the great thing that you're doing or something like that. Yeah, Ben, hey man, take your time and stuff. I was just saying that like whenever you are ready, I'm happy to do that picture for you. I just think it's going to be kind of cool, like with all the different doggos in there together. I think that'd be great. I was talking. I don't know if you were in the room, but I was talking about how I really feel like I should do a picture like that of my own pets. Kind of like a group portrait or something like that. I think that would be kind of fun. I think that would be like a challenge too, like a big old picture with all of them in it. Like, and I'm talking about all of the ones, like even the ones from like when I was a kid or something like that. I think that would be cool. We got Klaus in the house. Neat. Beautiful. The coffee effect. Yeah. So this is something. Um, I've been doing these coffee paintings a lot this year, and I've been trying to like kind of perfect what I'm doing. I wouldn't say that I have perfected it, but I've gotten better at it over the months. But yeah, it's been a little while since the last one I did, and I'm trying to kind of make up for that with this one. But I do enjoy doing these guys. It takes a little while. It's a process, but I enjoy it. Get a bigger brush here. Sorry, I keep burping up pizza. I had pizza earlier. Yeah, yeah, Ben, absolutely. How you guys, hopefully you guys are holding up. I know it's rough. Let's see. Kid says, I'm jealous, Larry. I don't have a pool. Had to cool off with my dog in a kiddie pool. I don't have a pool either. Sucks. The neighbor behind me has a pool, and I have to look at their pool. Little smug people. Little smug people in their smug pool. I hope he doesn't watch my show. Like, oh, I thought you, I thought that was a cute deer until you started messing and like bad mouthing my pool. I don't think any of my neighbors watch this show. I don't know how they would have found out about it. I was thinking about maybe, I don't know, like putting up a flyer or something at the local supermarket saying, hey, if you're local and you want to check out a local person doing art, check out this channel. I really don't know how to promote things like that, but I thought that would be kind of cool. But no, I have no idea how my neighbor would even know that I do um, paintings. But hey, maybe he will hop in sometime and invite me to go hang out in his pool. That'd be cool. 'Cause, I don't know. He looks like he's enjoying that pool a lot, and I would like to join with him. Alan K says, I recently watched Bambi with my kids. I haven't seen that in forever. And turned it off as soon as I learned when Bambi was male. Really? Yeah, I think yeah, I'm pretty sure that was common knowledge that Bambi was a male. I don't know where Bambi became a female's name. Yeah, because he would hang out with Thumper. I think there was even a female deer in that, wasn't there? Like a love interest or something. Maybe I'm mixing that up with some other movie. Yeah, Bambi is probably short for like I don't know, like Bambino or something. The Great Bambino. I don't know enough about sports to elaborate on that, but yeah, I think Bambi is a male name, or it could be at least. I don't know how it became a female name. Yes, I really do like the color and style a lot. Hard to get the same color with watercolor, like burnt sienna. It's not the same. Yeah, totally. I That's one of the things I love about the coffee paintings. So I don't know. Like I've seen people do coffee paintings for all kinds of different things. It seems like it was kind of really big in 2010 or thereabouts, where people were just kind of I don't know. It just seemed like there was a lot of coffee paintings being posted to the internet of like a variety of different subjects. So people do portraits of them. I've seen people do like stormtroopers and geek culture type things, like I don't know, The Mandalorian and coffee paintings. And I think you can basically do coffee paintings for anything that you could do, like in watercolor, because it is basically working like watercolor in this medium. But I have my personal preference is the color, the style, the just everything about the coffee painting really lends to these wildlife pictures. So, like, while I could do a bunch of different things with coffee paintings, and I've seen a bunch of people do like a bunch of different, like a ship or something out on the sea. You know, some people do houses. I found that all of those are great, but because it's brown, you're kind of stuck with brown. It's a monotone color. You want to do something earthy. You want to do something, you know, something like wildlife. And what I really like about the technique that I do, where I kind of let things kind of drip all over the place and be a little bit abstract in certain areas, is that looks really cool for wildlife. Like when you just like put some splatters on the page and you let things drip and things like that. Um, I think it works really well. Ben says, "Thanks, Larry. I enjoy watching them instead of streaming myself." Did you ever get your face shaved? I know that you were wanting to do that. I don't like. Is that still a thing? Ben was growing out a very, very long beard in protest, and not just beard, but like he let his hair grow out and everything like that. And he was basically, I don't know. It's been like almost a year of protesting, really. I don't know when it started, but it seems like it's been a while. Um, but he was wanting to shave it recently, so I'm kind of curious if he did that. It'd be kind of cool. So sometimes, like with this coffee stuff, you get these like little granules in here, and um, some people like some people don't like those. Sorry, but I don't mind them. I like it when coffee kind of pulls up and you get some darker areas. So I feel like now that I've got this, well, hold on, I gotta get some more of these legs in here. Trying to remember. Got this leg here that kind of comes down. Haven't shaved yet, still a thing. Well, at some point I'll actually shave. So you're going to shave right around when winter comes around, and it's going to be so cold, your face is just going to be like like an icicle. That'd be funny. I don't know why I think other people's misery is so funny, but that is funny. Yeah, should enjoy the few remaining weeks we have of summer with a nice fresh face. All right, so the trick is that you got to get the space in here before you can kind of like start working on some other areas. You have to have a base to build up on. I have found that you really can't just like I tried to make the eye dark. You can only go so dark in the first layer. You really have to let it build up. So, but now that I do have this kind of base layer in here and it's dried a little bit, I can work on some of these darker areas. And since it's been a while since I've done one of these, I'm going to kind of like explain what I'm doing. So I've got this ground coffee over here, and what I do is I like to let it pull up in certain areas, and it kind of creates like this like syrupy, like really dark syrupy kind of stuff that really works well for these dark details. So I'll show you real quick. So you can see that works really well. And then, you're able to kind of use it as almost like ink and or like a liner of some sort or whatever. And if you can get that kind of syrupy consistency to your coffee, only after you've already put down a base layer, then you can really, really get some details in and it starts to look cool. Medic, how you doing, bud? Appreciate you guys hanging out with me on Friday night. I know that, like, I always get nervous whenever I have to cancel a Thursday show. Like, again, I was meaning to be on here yesterday, but I thought it would be better to kick it to the curb for today. But I always get nervous whenever I do a stream on Fridays because I'm like, oh, people are going to be busy, like they're going to be out and about doing things. I don't know why I worry about that, but no, it always seems like you guys are happy to hang out with me, so I really do appreciate that. I know I don't have a life, but I appreciate you guys lending me your lives to hang out with. I mean, I don't think I don't know. As I get older, I still have a life, but as I get older, I spend it more hanging out with people on weekends and for things like game nights and going to the movies every now and then. I don't I don't just like pile in a car with a bunch of friends and head to the bar or anything. That's all like those days are gone. So getting these dark areas in here, that's from when the picture really starts to kind of come out. Kevin said, "Yeah, I'm old. I got to go to the office tomorrow." Oh, that sucks. Well, hey, so Kevin says he has to go to the office tomorrow, but what he doesn't tell you is that it's at this beautiful horse park that is just absolutely lovely. So it's not really as much of a chore as he says. I used to actually enjoy working weekends whenever I had to work there. Wasn't that frequent, but I didn't mind going out there on the weekends. I had to work there one night, like third shift, like until like 7 o'clock in the morning overnight and stuff. It was like spooky out there. But anyway, you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, so I'll just skip that. You should paint a steak with Worcestershire. Hey, so how do you pronounce that? Worcestershire sauce. I can't pronounce it. You should paint a steak with Worcestershire sauce and send it to Shiloh. I would paint a steak. It probably wouldn't turn out that good. So there's a reason why I paint the same things over and over again. I'm trying to get good at them, but also it's like I don't know, paint what you know. Like I've gotten pretty good at least attempting wildlife portraits. That doesn't mean I can draw everything. I could probably draw a snake, but I don't know how to draw a snake so that you know that it's a steak and not just like I don't know, like a brick, like a red brick or something. I could try to draw a steak. Had some drinks tonight. Ooh, nice. MJ said pirate. Arr. Let's see. Get a nostril in here. Some dark nostril. I haven't seen a good pirate movie in a while. I haven't seen Goonies in a while. That's a nice summertime film to watch. I've got that on DVD. I think I might go back and watch it. I haven't seen it in a while. And that was my show growing up, or my movie growing up. Goonies. I have seen that at least a million times. There's a couple there's a couple of movies growing up that I've seen like a million times. Like I have seen Raiders of the Lost Ark enough times to where I can quote you word for word. Um, like basically the entire script. Um, Whenever I was sick, my parents were really into like Star Trek, so they had the first three Star Trek movies. So like the motion picture, Star Trek Wrath of Khan, and The Search for Spock, and they had them on like a bootleg VHS tape. Um, they had a couple of movies on like bootleg things. I think back then people just swapped them around. I don't know, like it was like before the days of Napster and Kazaa and all of that stuff and BitTorrent. Um, Back then, you had to like for the kids in the room. All right, back then there was something called a VHS tape, and people would record things on it and stuff and kind of swap them around. But anyway, that's what my parents had for like all these Star Trek movies. And I remember every time I was sick, because there was three of them, and I could like marathon all three of them, like back in the day. Uh, I really started. Um, this weird tradition of like whenever I was sick, I would watch Star Trek. So like I know those movies. Um, I basically have those movies memorized. And I am a big Star Trek fan, but um, it's mostly like that original crew, like William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and DeForest Kelly and all of those guys, Nichelle Nichols. I'm really a fan of them, and it's because of like all those movies I watched when I was a kid. But I still like Star Trek. I just didn't really get into Next Generation and some of the other permutations of it, variants, I guess you would call them. I bet you had a Ferrari or a Batmobile VHS rewinder. Nah, we did it the old-fashioned way. We didn't have no fancy rewinder. What are you talking about? We did it the old-fashioned way. We just hit rewind. Nah, they like I was fascinated whenever I would go to the movie. I had a friend who worked at the movie rental place, and he showed me the rewinder. I'm like, man, that is technology there. Those standalone rewinders, those were awesome back in the day. No, we didn't have that. We didn't have crap. I was complaining to my dad recently, like, why didn't we even have an Atari? Or wait, we had an Atari. We didn't have a Nintendo. I had an Atari when I was a real young kid, but when all my friends had Nintendos, we didn't have those. And I was like, come on, Dad, why don't we have a Nintendo? He was like, well, I had three kids. So, all right, fair enough. We didn't have a Nintendo because we had three kids to raise. But yeah, I would always go over to my friend's house to play Nintendo. And because it was borrowed, I never was able to get really good at it. So like all my friends were able to just kill it in like Super Mario Brothers, but I never really developed the knack. I think the first game system I actually got was like an Xbox, one of the original Xboxes. Um, and then so the funny thing, I'm not a huge gamer. I try to make time for gaming, but I never really have the time. So I never really got into I mean I play games, the same with everybody else, but I never really got into the whole gaming thing that people are into now. But the ironic side of it is I do have some game consoles. And the funny thing is I've got three or four of the same game consoles. And the reason why is that I would always go to these Microsoft developer conferences and they would give away certain incentives to sign up early, and one of them was like an Xbox console. So the first couple of times I went out to these conferences, always in Vegas, I would pick up one of these consoles and I'd take it back and I'd sell it, and then eventually all my friends had like Xbox consoles, and then you know there was really nobody to like sell them to, so I started just kind of keeping them. Now I've got three Xbox consoles running around this house. I don't play any of them. Basically, I just use them as like kind of an expensive Roku. Hey, kitty, quit clawing the floor. That's Archer, by the way. Archer is making a fun guest appearance tonight. He knows I'm talking about him. Were you part of the duck hunt on the smart board in the old building? No, I didn't. I didn't play that. I heard about that though. That would be awesome to see. Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt with the pistols, of course. Yeah. Meow. Yeah, I didn't get to play on the smart board. That's another weird piece of technology that I don't think ever really caught on. I don't know. Maybe in some places it did, but I don't think they ever really used that smart board. Just expensive toy. Still have all my Atari games. So I don't have any Atari games. I don't have like a console for that, but I did find out that there are emulators that you can find on the internet for playing those old games, and it's just like it was back in the day. Those are fun. Just going down like, I mean, they're stupid little games now, because they're all like what it was, the 8-bit graphics and stuff. I mean, it's just not very interesting, but it's still fun, to go down the nostalgic trail. Probably my favorite Atari game. And like I liked all the popular ones like Asteroid and Defender and things like that. But the one that I remember having the most fun with was Superman. Superman, you had to fly around the city, and it was like really lame. You're basically like this little chunk of a thing that kind of looks like a person, but not really. It's like I don't know if like if a kid took a couple of Legos, put them together, and said, "Hey, I made a person." That's kind of what it looked like. And this is supposed to be like Superman. And the worst part is you were Clark Kent at first, and then you went into like a phone booth and like made a quick change and stuff, and then you can suddenly fly. But you're still like a Lego block essentially. It was a dumb game. I don't even remember what I think the objective was that there was a jailbreak and like Lex Luthor and some of his henchmen or something got out of jail and you were supposed to like round them up or something. I don't know. It was lame. It was dumb. Atari Pong. There you go. There. Now that's a practical game. You have two sticks and a ball that goes between them. That makes sense. Yeah, like Pong. That makes a lot of sense. Pac-Man. That makes a lot of sense. When you start trying to do a game that is supposed to look like something in the real world, like Superman or like ET, and most people know the story about ET. They ended up like having to toss all of those, bury them in the desert. Like it just didn't work back then. Graphics nowadays, I mean, amazing. Definitely within my lifetime, but certainly, absolutely within my nieces and nephews' lifetime. Graphics on these games will look indistinguishable from real life. I believe that. It's only a matter of time. That stuff is looking amazing. I don't know where we go from there, like when fantasy starts looking like reality. I don't know what you're gonna do, but it's interesting. Like maybe that's when I'll start getting into games. Vanguard. Oh, that was a good one. Super Breakout. Yeah, all the Breakout games are fun. Like they've remade all of these into like games for I don't know, you can play these on your phone and stuff nowadays, but Super Mario like not Super Mario, the little mini Game Boy. There we go. Sorry. That totally slipped my mind. Game Boy. I never had one of those, but my friend always did. And he would let me play it. Tetris on the Game Boy. That was the thing back in the day. Playing Tetris on the Game Boy. That was, oh man, so much fun times. And like I don't know what kind of friends you guys had, but for me, like you probably had Game Boys and yourself, but for me, I had to wait until my friend got tired of a game before like I could play it. So like he would get um he would get like something like Tetris or Mario Brothers on the Game Boy, and he would like play it nonstop until he's so bored of it. He's like, "Yeah, okay, all right, Jeremy, you can play it." Gee, thanks, Mister. Ah, fun times. Yeah, but I don't know. I give my dad shit because he couldn't buy us a Nintendo. How's that for like being an asshole? I mean, you don't think about these things as a kid. Like as a kid, you're like, why can't we have these nice things and stuff? But then like, you got three siblings. My dad was like on a military paycheck. I don't know why we thought we deserved anything. Really didn't. Right there, buddy. Don't go bury yourself under a bunch of blankets and stuff. That's why you're overheating. There's some water over there if you need some. Guinness likes to cover up his face and like bury himself under blankets and stuff, and then he gets like really overheated. He's a weird dog. What are we doing on time? Oh, we're almost an hour into this. All right, so I think his face is enough. Like I'll come back and work on it a little bit more. Oh, Pitfall, that was the game. Oh yeah, yeah, Alan Kay. That is an argument for living in a like a simulation. I don't know if you guys are like it's so famous. I don't even know if I want to repeat it, but the simulation argument basically goes that uh, at some point, technology is going to catch up enough to where you can create like a realistic simulation, either now or like sometime in the distant future. And then the question becomes like, if you can make a simulation indistinguishable from real life, how do you know that you're not living in a simulation? Because the argument is that it would be so easy to run a simulation that they would be running so many of them that statistically it would be more likely that you live in a simulation than not. Um, like the guy who put that out there, it was a paper by Nick Bostrom, I think. I think that's how you pronounce his name, and it caught a lot of people's attention because it's hard to argue with the logic of it. The logic was basically that either mankind will never reach technological maturity, which doesn't seem likely. Like you can see that people are creating this kind of technology now. There's no real reason to think that it would stop. Um, but he allows for that. He says that either mankind won't achieve technological maturity, or we'll decide not to for some reason. So like we'll be like, oh, well, that's taboo. Like, and we've done things like that before. Like we have we have the technology to clone people, but we choose not to. There's probably some other things in science that we choose not to do, just for like moral or ethical reasons. So he allows for the idea that maybe we choose to ethically not run simulations, or for whatever reason. Um, and then he allows for like one other condition, which is like, well, maybe we blow ourselves up, right? So like maybe we destroy our civilization before we reach technological maturity. Like maybe we nuke ourselves. And this is from memory. Like you guys can look these things up. I don't remember all the different arguments, but I think that's the gist of them. Um, and then he goes from that. So like that's the observations that like either one of these three things are going to happen, or you know we are probably living in a simulation. And the reason why is because it would be so cheap to run simulations that they would just be doing all kinds of crazy simulations. They would be basically running, hey, what ifs on everything. It's like, what if Hitler never lived, or what if you know, what if I don't like what if there was AI run amok or something, which is probably going to happen in the next couple of years. I don't know. Um, all these different like what if scenarios they can run simulations on really cheaply, and then if it's so realistic, how do you know that you're not in a simulation? And then he even goes a little bit one step further. He says that well, statistically, it's more likely that you are. Yeah, what if Bambi was a girl? It's okay. Bambi was a boy. It's not the end of the world, Alan. He was a boy in the movie. Uh, the Great Bambino, the baseball player. He was Bambi as well. Like Bambi is not a girl's name. It's fine. Bambi can be a boy. He's an adorable little boy, isn't he? Hey, Willie Nilly's in the room. Cute baby deer. Thank you, Willie. I appreciate that. MJ says that pawn is adorable. Thank you. Okay, Larry says Atari was a bunch of blocks, Pitfall, Tetris. I'm not judging. I love Pitfall. Pitfall was. Speaking of blocks, like on the computer, I don't know if it ever made it to the Atari, but Monty Zimmer's Revenge, that was my game back in the day. That was a lot of fun. That was actually an adventure. That was better than Pitfall, in my opinion. I really enjoyed Money Zerma's Revenge. Nothing's wrong with Bambi Boo being a boy. No, not at all. I don't know why Alan says that. Like he mentioned earlier, Alan said that he watched Bambi earlier or like recently with the fam, and he was shocked and appalled and outraged that Bambi turned out to be a boy. It, it really really struck him hard. I'm kind of putting words in his mouth. He didn't say all that, but I think it's fine. I'm not convinced that Thumper was a boy. Thumper could have been a girl. I don't remember the movie to be honest. I remember bits and pieces. I remember didn't like his family die or something in like a forest fire. Wasn't it like the first gut wrenching Disney movie? Like they do this all the time now. Like the beginning of Nemo, the mother died, and all that stuff. Like now they do this kind of stuff all the time. But back then, I think that was like the first instance of like them really messing with audiences. Hey, Mama Q. Mama Q says, "Oh dear." Yeah, we got a deer going here. It you know it's been a while since I've done a coffee painting, and I really I really like doing baby deers. They just look super cute and they look good in a picture. Like I'm not gonna say that I'm lazy or anything, but when you have a cute subject matter, it kind of carries the weight for you. Like people like your picture because they like the deer, not necessarily like your skill level or anything like that. So like it's an easy way to get people to like your picture, even though maybe there's some technical mistakes in it or something like that. So I'm not saying I'm lazy. I'm just saying that yeah, I'm kind of lazy. So there you go. There's a tip for artists out there. If you're looking to create art that the internet loves, create cute stuff. Create little baby deer and you know cats and dogs and bunny rabbits and all that stuff. Don't do it self portrait because like a self portrait, internet will hate it. Do cute little bunny rabbits. Internet will love it. You don't even have to do a good job. Like this is just coffee. I mean, it's not like I'm painting the Mona Lisa here or anything like that. You don't even have to do a great job. You just do something cute. Jeremy Baby Deer looks good. Thank you. Appreciate that. So I think I'm going to put in some more splats. I'm getting to the point where I feel like there's enough there that I want to let it dry and kind of figure out where I'm going to go from there. So I did want to put in some kind of splats down here, something where it looks like he's just kind of standing in a field of grass or something like that. You know, can kind of get a little carried away with it, but that's okay. I'm gonna let that simmer for a bit instead of like giving it the gravity hold thing where it drips and stuff. I'm gonna let that kind of stain it a little bit just to see what happens. Some of this stuff is I do out of curiosity just to kind of see how things work. Because one of the things, like I'm not all that great at doing watercolor yet. I'm still practicing watercolor. But one of the things I like about water-based mediums is that, you know, water does amazing things when you just like put it on paper and stuff. Like whether it's gravity feeding it or just like how it interacts with the paper, it's kind of interesting. So like I like to just let it do its thing, you know. Do you use toned watercolor paper? It looks off white. So it's the lighting in here. It's white watercolor paper. It's not off white. Um, sometimes like when you come back and see my pictures posted on the community tab, which is where I like to post them afterwards. Um, it is much brighter, and that's the reason. The reason for that is like I've got like yellow bulbs here or something. I don't know. I haven't really worked out the whole lighting situation in here. It's different like when I do a picture during the daytime. Sometimes I do pictures on weekends, and it's a totally different scenario. Like then everything looks blue because the sunlight is shining through my window, and it just makes everything look blue or something in my camera. So it's a combination between the camera and the lighting in here, which you know I haven't totally figured out. I'm still using cheap equipment. Like this is my phone. Um, and I've got it hooked up to my computer with like a bunch of random cords. Like you guys can't see it, but there's a like a board kind of that I built across here and kind of like rigged a little harness for my phone. So I don't know, it's all cheap material. I just want to draw pictures and make pretty art things. I don't want to spend a lot of money on like equipment. Theoretically, I should probably take some video editing classes and like I should learn to press the start button at the beginning of the broadcast. That's what I should do. Jeremy, have you ever done a mermaid? I have drawn mermaids. I haven't painted one or anything like that. I should do a mermaid. That would be cool. Yeah, mermaids are fun. Um, that was always one of my favorite characters growing up. Like Disney's Little Mermaid. I was young enough when that came out that like I thought it was cool. But also like mermaids, like is a mythical character. There's like a lot of fun you can have with that. So there's there's a traditional mermaid that most people know, like where you have a like a human person. Obviously, mermaid is a female, so you have a female with like a fish bottom. Um, but the actual tails of mermaids and stuff, it's not necessarily like a humanoid. It could be like a demon character or something like that, or somebody with like um, you know I don't know, more of a fish kind of vibe to them. There's just a bunch of different ways you can go with it. One of the oldest P.T. Barnum stories is that they had like a little miniature mermaid, which I think he had just taken two different animals and kind of spliced them together, like a fish and some other kind of small animal. Um, but yeah, the traditional thing with area. Yeah, I'll do a mermaid soon. Thanks for the tip. That's actually kind of cool. Um, Walt's mom didn't die when he was little, but he did feel responsible for her death. I didn't know that. No, that's neat. So the interesting thing here is like this will take a while to dry, but it's going to create this kind of like ring, which I think is cool. So I'm not going to be happy with that, but I'll have this neat little pool here that I can create other features off of. So like I can create, like maybe an additional splotch over on the side, and maybe put some grass or something like that in it. Yeah, get some other splotches going. So you know these kind of like just grungish effects I really like. The way to kind of stress the picture. So I wanted to show that off. Sorry. So say you have like a blob like this. I think I've shown this before. Maybe that's like a bit much. I kind of like these little smaller ones. I don't like this big one. You can just kind of mop that up. That's what's so cool about this medium. It is very forgiving. You can move things around. Um, you know, I don't know. You have a lot of control over it, is what I'm trying to say. What are we doing on time? We're only like an hour into it. I kind of want to fill in this backside so that I can get some dots in here. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit. So right now it kind of looks like a mule deer, which is like these little shaggy deers that they have out west. I had no idea that Walt Disney's parents died that way. That explains a lot. So maybe that's the reason why Bambi was like such a horrific story. Doesn't explain Finding Nemo though. Like Finding Nemo is terrible. Pulls at the heartstrings. Like they do that a lot with these more modern tales. Like I don't know. I like the Disney movies. You know, I don't have any kids or any reason to like the Disney movies. I just enjoy them. Um, Especially like the animated ones and you know, like in recent years. I actually like I I actually like the period of animation that is like around the time of like The Little Mermaid and like Lion King and you know before they started getting into like 3D animation and stuff like that. I think that that's probably like their heyday for Disney. I don't know for certain, but they were cranking out a lot of good stories at that time. Aladdin, um, trying to think. Now they've got some really good 3D animated movies as well. Like I like Rapunzel. I don't know why, but I like Mandy Moore and her as Rapunzel. I enjoyed that movie. Um, Entangled, or I don't know. It wasn't actually called Rapunzel, but I enjoyed that. Trying to think of other Disney movies that I've liked that's come out in recent years. Beauty and the Beast. There we go. There's another one that's like classic animation. But they were just cranking those movies out for a while there, and they were all like solid. Like they were all really good. Yeah, Frozen. There you go. Frozen is one of the good 3D ones. They've been really good at those too. Like Frozen. Who doesn't like Frozen? Like everybody likes Frozen. Your heart must be frozen if you don't like Frozen. Larry says that. I agree. Good stories and music. Yeah, like something about those animated movies that they made during the '90s and stuff. I feel like those were really some of the solid Disney um, years. You know, the golden years, I guess. Nowadays, they got their hands in everything. It's hard to tell what is actually Disney anymore. Like if you go to I went to Disney World in see when was it? 2021, I think. Yeah, 2021. I went down to Disney World and for a conference and I was there for like a little while and I decided to go and check out all the different Disney shops and stuff. All the different Disney shops are all just like I don't know, Star Wars and Marvel and things like that. It's hard to find the old stuff that really made Disney what they were back in the day. I mean, it's still there, obviously. Like, you know, Mickey Mouse is still their mascot and so on, but they've kind of lost their identity by taking on so many identities, if that makes sense. Makes sense to me, but I've been drinking. I think The Lion King was the best. I like The Lion King a lot. The best. Oh, that's tough. The best in terms of what though? Like The Lion King was great. Is it the best? I don't know. I don't know. That's tough. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it was. Because you had a lot of stuff there. You had like the epicness of like almost a Shakespearean uh, story where you know the the lion's brother tries to take over the kingdom. I mean, it's basically Hamlet, right? And then you also have the fun little stuff where you know you have Pumbaa and what was the little muskrat's name? Tim, Tim, Timon? Tim, something with the T. Anyway, that's like just a fun little story. So yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, all right. You convinced me. Fantasia. I like that. Yeah, I'm sold. Okay, Disney. When it comes to Disney classic animation, Lion King was the best. Lion King was the best story. I don't know if it was the best animation, but it was the best story. I will agree with that. I had to think about that for a minute. Have you done a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer painting? I have not done that yet. I did a couple of Santa Clauses back during the holidays, but I haven't done a Rudolph. I did I did a baby deer in ink. And I don't know if that's the only way I did a baby deer. You can see I'm going back over some of the same stuff here, and all of that does is just kind of add additional layers. So like it's hard to see on camera, but you've got multiple things to look at now, and it really kind of makes the painting just better. Just multiple layers going on. I like it. Timon. Timon. I keep wanting to say Timmy, but that's from South Park. Timon. Timon. I can't pronounce that. What is wrong with me? Timon. Timon. Yeah, I really just want to say Timmy. I'm gonna get canceled. Get some little whiskers going here. I do like South Park. It's hard to believe South Park has been going on for as long as it has. I mean, they made a South Park movie back in the late '90s. That's how long South Park's been around, and it's still relevant. Like South Park, they're still, you know, a part of the like cultural like conversation. Speaking of Disney, they did a pretty bad roast of Disney, or pretty good roast of Disney recently. Kind of like um, giving Kathleen Kennedy a hard time for some of the choices that she's made in Star Wars and so on. But yeah, South Park's still a thing. I like this little guy. All right, I kind of want like a whitewash behind him. I kind of want to like expand him out because he is kind of like a small deer, you know, and you know, give him a little more of a something going on behind him. It's not part of his body. So when I do that, though, you see that there's not as much of a definition here anymore. So I gotta kind of add some of that back in with let me do it this way, some dark areas, just to create that kind of separation, so that you know what part is deer and what part is like background. Timon, Timon, Timon. I can't pronounce it. I've been drinking. Timon. I need to watch that movie again. The thing is, I've got Disney Plus, right? So like the whole thing when Disney Plus came out was like, oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna go back and watch all these old movies and stuff that you grew up with as a child, like Apple Dumpling Gang and Lion King and all that stuff they kept in their vault and kind of greedily kept from you and all that jazz. And yeah, it sounds good. You get it, and then you forget about it, and you don't watch any of these things, or like you watch a few and you get kind of bored. Like I don't know, some of those movies that they made back in the day, I remember really enjoying them, and then I go back and watch them, and they're like really boring. Um, like I wouldn't say that of like the Apple Dumpling Gang. I think that that kind of holds up in terms of a comedy, but like Don Knotts is just funny. And what was it, Conroy? I don't know, but anyway. So baby deers have spots. You can see I'm trying to add these in. So what I'm doing is I'm adding water, and then I'm using my paper towel to just kind of lift that water up, right? Creates these little spots. They're still like a little bit brown. They're not as white as I want them to be, but I'm going to keep working at it and see if I can get them to be as white as I want. But that's how you erase. And if you don't want to use a paper towel, you can kind of use you use a brush as well. But yeah, absolutely. That's what's so cool about coffee as a medium. Um, you can actually erase the same as you would with pencil. So just adding like little tiny spots for the deer with a deer in the headlights. A mama deer and a baby deer ran in front of the car. Oh, I thought this was a joke. Sorry. A mama deer and a baby deer walk into a bar. Um, Ran in front of the car a couple of weeks ago. I honked at them. I didn't know what to do. I was shocked. Yeah, it happens. I don't know how many deer die by being hit by cars and stuff, but I'm sure it's a lot. It's probably a lot more than like actually die due to hunting. I think that's the reason. So some people make the argument for hunting to reduce the population so that you don't have things like that. I don't know how I feel about that because I'm like an animal lover. I couldn't bear to see like an animal suffer. Um, even if it is for something that seems like it might be a good cause, like reducing population. Um, I don't know if I can do that myself. Like I'm just not into hunting. So these spots look pretty good. Maybe I'll come back with like some white liner and kind of make those a little bit more white. But I like how those look. All right, so I am probably getting into the territory where I may have to wait for some things to dry, like this stuff down here, before I can really proceed. But I'm going to keep working on this anyway, because I think that I can get some things a little bit better, even though I probably will have to wait for some of these things. I do like how as the deer kind of comes down, it starts disappearing into this mess down here. I like that kind of stuff. Super cute, Jeremy. Thanks, Rome. Hopefully you're enjoying your shift. Rome is visiting with us as he can while he's working, which I think is cool. By the way, check out how this is drying. So you see this kind of like neat little effect. This is what I love about water-based mediums, whether it's watercolor or it's the coffee. It's just fun to watch, like so you start seeing these cool little crevices coming up and through here. I, I mean, that's probably partly the way the copy fell. It's probably the quality of the watercolor paper, which probably is like on the low budget side. So it's probably like sinking into extra layers of that watercolor paper. I think that kind of stuff is neat. Oh, get some splotches going down here and some more back here. So I like doing those. There's another. Got different brushes for different things. I don't know where my one brush is that I use for that might be up here. So I like taking a brush and kind of like poking at. So one of the techniques I like is I like to do kind of like some stippling, I guess, of this. Again, I get this like really syrupy kind of like consistency on the coffee, and then I kind of come in and I start stippling some stuff just because I like that texture. I like the way it dries and kind of gives it this three-dimensional one. You want the shadow to kind of come down and kind of lead the eye down. into the picture. So the way I do that down in these areas where I'm less concerned about details is I just kind of like just kind of push it into the paper. I, to my knowledge, you can't really do this with watercolor, so this might be something that kind of is a difference between coffee and watercolor. But it is awesome in coffee to be able to do this, and it's one of the things that I like about coffee. I like I like doing things like this. I like letting coffee kind of pool in a spot. So I'll kind of see if I can do that. So just kind of that little dark area there will probably pull up and kind of crack a little bit. I think that's cool. Sorry, I get fascinated by some of this stuff, just like how this stuff works. Um, Kid has one of my coffee paintings. I think I sent one to Larry too. They can attest to how this stuff ends up drawing. It is kind of cool. It does kind of like create almost like a I don't, in my mind, it's like a creme brulee kind of crust or something. It's kind of like a crust, and you get like little air bubbles in there. It kind of pulls and cracks, and it's really kind of cool. I think. Like I said, I quit hunting 11 years ago. What about fishing? I'm on the fence about fishing. So like, I definitely know that if I were to like shoot a baby deer, I would feel bad. Um, when it comes to fishing, I don't know if they have the nervous system to like I heard somewhere that like lobsters don't have the capability to feel pain. So like when you drop one in like this sounds terrible, like in boiling water to cook them, um, they don't actually suffer. I don't know if that's true, but that's my understanding. If that's the case with like fish, I don't know if I just don't like suffering. Like I don't think that they suffer. Um, but I don't know if I would want to be the person who goes like if a fish was on my hook and they were squirming and stuff, I would feel bad personally. But I don't fault people for that. I don't think that, you know, I wouldn't judge somebody for that. It's kind of about the suffering for me, but like theoretically, some animals, you know, I don't know. I don't know enough on about it to like really talk about it. But I will never do hunting myself. That said, I wouldn't mind, going out with like a camera or something and stalking a deer to take a nice picture. That'd be fun. Like dressing up in camo and doing that. Um, that'd be something I'd be into. And, just firing off guns is a sport. That's always cool. It's like basic, it's like a firecracker, like, I like guns. Guns are cool. I don't like what guns do to people, or animals or anything like that, but just you know, just bang bang and stuff. That's kind of fun. I think this picture is looking kind of cool. I like how it's going. There's some areas that I'm not 100% sold on, but I think I'll continue working on those. Sometimes I feel bad for the worm when I put it on my hook. Oh yeah, like the worm. Oh, definitely. Like I don't know if they feel anything, but you're literally like, yeah, the worm's got the worst. I mean, well, I guess the fish does too. I don't know. They say that they really don't have the central nervous system enough to feel pain or anything like that, or to really even be aware of like what the situation is. So I don't know how bad I feel about it. Since I don't fish, I don't have to feel guilty about it. But I also don't think that other people probably should either. I used to when I was a kid. In Boy Scouts and stuff. They were all about the fishing, and my folks really enjoyed fishing too, so they got me into it. But just to tell you the type of person I am. After a while, I started like taking my hook and putting like a piece of styrofoam on it and then casting that out, knowing that the fish would see the styrofoam and avoid it. So like I was trying to like pretend to fish so that I look like I was fishing, but then also like make sure that the fish is never going to like actually grab my hook. I'm just like, I don't know. I just like animals. I would feel bad if any of them were in pain. Man, I would feel terrible if I ate this painting before he picked me up. Tired of hitting cans. Oh, you mean like firearm shooting? So I recently learned that there is a place that you can go out here, like nearby. There's a it's a wildlife management area, but also you can go out and fire a firearm and stuff like that. I think that might be fun. I also have like a bow and arrow. That I inherited from somebody. I forget where that came from, but I have a bow and arrow. I was thinking about taking that out and practicing with that. Never to like actually go hunting, but you got to be prepared for the zombie apocalypse. I, I believe I believe you got to be prepared for when the zombies take over. So even if you're not like hunting deer or whatever, which I don't think I could do, um, I'll kill me a zombie. I am not afraid of that. Like when the zombies come, I want to be prepared. I want to be like the master of like either like a bow and arrow or like a firearm or like a ninja sword or something like that. You know, you got to be prepared. That's my motto. I'm always prepared for the zombies. There you go, Willie. You know what's up. You can never be too prepared for the zombie apocalypse. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the actual thing. So like when I grew up watching all these movies and stuff about zombies and everything, it was like, okay, you're watching the zombie movie and you're like, well, that ain't real. You know, that's fake. That's never gonna happen. But then like you start hearing about these these insects that literally take over the mind of a host, like the parasitic insects. They can take over the mind of their host on a small scale, but still, it's a thing, right? And then like one of the best recent movies about like zombie stuff is oh, what is that movie? Had Pedro Pascal, The Last of Us. They had a very convincing argument for the possibilities of zombies. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that zombies are definitely a real thing, but also maybe they are a real thing. Because like The Last of Us made the case for like the fungi type of zombie that I never even considered, and that seems like actually realistic. Maybe that could happen. So you better get ready for the zombie apocalypse. That might actually happen. Lorraine said they used to cook lobsters until one time one screamed, and then since I could not cook them, so they say that that might be like steam or something. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't do it myself. I'll go. I'm kind of a hypocrite on that. I'll go someplace and eat like a lobster, but I won't cook them myself. Coopart says amazing work. Thanks for sharing the gift, Pam. Hey, I appreciate that, Coop. This is your first time here, this is kind of what I do. Usually it's Thursdays and well Tuesdays and Thursdays. Um, this Me being here on a Friday is just kind of because I missed the Thursday one, but um, yeah, I just kind of hang out and usually draw pictures, sometimes paint pictures, and just hang out with people. Just chat about whatever. Like tonight, we're talking about zombies, zombies, and hunting zombies. But no, I mean, if you enjoy this kind of thing, I encourage you to stick around. And we're all pretty good people. Like the people who hang out here, there's a couple of regulars and stuff. They're all good. Nobody's ever really getting into arguments or anything like that. So it's all right, Kitty. I'm almost done. I think I am getting pretty close to calling this done enough. So like the problem with these coffee paintings is they're not really done in one sitting because like, you know, as they dry, there's some things that you might like this pooling down here. I don't really know how that's going to work out until it dries. So I don't know what other details I might want to put in there. So I have to come back and kind of work on that kind of stuff in the morning. But I think this is looking pretty good for the first session. So the way I usually do these is I usually do, you know, 2 hours of this or so with you guys, and then I come back in the morning, maybe put in like another hour just doing touch-ups and stuff like that. And I think we're getting pretty close there, but I do like how this is looking. All right, so a couple of other little effects. I do like I do think maybe I can put in some more splotches. If worms felt something, I would still be with my ex. That's great. That's a yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. Like, that's a great comment. All right, so I'm going to put in a couple more speckles. Hi, Bear. Bear wants to say hi. It's my co-pilot. You want to say hi? It's okay. We're almost done. All right. So the other thing I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to put in like a little coffee ring. I like doing these things. I hope there aren't any rat lovers in chat. I just saw 2 rats in my garage. I like mice. Mice are cute. So these are kind of random. I just put them in wherever. And then this is another thing that I kind of want to let dry before I really kind of worry about where these circles are going to be. But I like putting those in there. It kind of emphasizes the idea that this is a coffee painting. It's not just you know, it's not just brown watercolor or anything like that. Oh, cat's going crazy. Yeah, so I do think that this is probably good enough to call it a night. I'm pretty happy with it. I think, like I said, I might do some touch-ups on this in the morning. These little white areas and stuff, I might come back with like my gel pen and kind of like make those more white. Because I do think that's an essential feature of like a fawn, is having those like little dough spots or whatever they're called. But you can definitely tell it's a deer. You got the cool little coffee effect going on. I'm pretty happy with it. You need to let Zeus and Bandit to those rats, Larry. So there's some farm dogs around here that are really good at hunting down rats and stuff, and they're usually the dogs. Like the cats, the cats don't mess with the rats as well as the barn dogs do. But Lorraine says, "Where's your art that was hanging on the wall?" Great question. So I had a conference call I had to do with somebody, so I wanted to kind of clean up my space a little bit. Like they didn't know that I draw pictures and stuff, and I'm like, well, if I had a bunch of pictures on my wall, they might think that's weird. So I cleaned those up. I'm going to put some of them back up, but also every now and then, like every 6 months or whatever, I like to go through my pictures and be like, hey, I like this one. I'm going to put this one up. Oh, I don't like this one. This one's going to go in the drawer. So it's just a little, you know, I run out of space eventually, so I have to do this kind of pruning periodically. So it just seemed like a good excuse to do some of that. So rest assured there will be some more pictures up there. What is going up there, I have no idea yet. We'll see. Maybe I'll put some coffee paintings up. Maybe I'll actually frame some stuff and put that up instead of just like taping it to the wall. I'm not the best steward of my own art, you know, like I don't take as great a care of it as maybe like somebody else would. I just kind of like tape it to the wall and call it a day. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna call this done. I want to like everybody. I want to let the face dry a little bit so that I can get more darker areas in the eyes and stuff like that. But anyway, hopefully you guys really enjoyed hanging out with me on this Friday night. I know you have like a lot of options and things that you can do on a Friday night. You know, you guys could be hanging out with your own dogs. Give me a minute. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. So Again, Jeremy, on a Friday night. I will be back on Tuesday, and maybe I'll do something this weekend as far as like, yeah, it looks kind of bare back there. I need to put some other things up, but we'll get there. Um, but yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I really enjoy doing these coffee paintings. I'm always trying to figure out what might look cool as a coffee painting. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to drop those in comments. And anytime you guys want to comment, feel free to drop me. Constructive criticism is fine too. I don't, I'm not shy about that kind of stuff. Um, Basically, any comment is good. So drop me some, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.